Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, innovative, and amazing Propagandacast from the host Imperial Dane, the one, the only master propaganda hero, psych defender of the fatherland, off to a glorious 1v1 on Crossroads Winter. In the north, it is Marcel fighting for the Oberkommando Germany, Deutschland. Das Vaterland here with the 16th Panzer Grenadier Division, featuring special operations, Overwatch, and grand offensive. In the south, it is Tiramisu fighting for the Red Army, the Soviet Union, Communist Stalin. Here with the 6th Guards Mechanized Corps with Armored Assault Tactics, featuring the T-3035, Radio Intercept, Vehicle Crew Repair Training, IS-2 Heavy Tanks, and L-2 Sturmweg Attacks. So off to the race we are, and as always, a big hearty thanks to my own company of heroes, my Patreon supporters. Big thanks go out to all those other people who join the ranks by Patreon page themselves, or they can consider donating my PayPal. Links in the description. Would help me out a bunch, of course. Also, commenting, liking, sharing, subscribing, while not as glorious, helps me out too. So, off to the race we are here. Marcel heading east with here, looking to secure decent fuel point there for the glory of Deutschland, and of course securing fuel lines. He's moving up here for Tiramisu there. Triple conscripts, probably might be using 4 of them, since it doesn't have like any call-in infantry to rely on. Bit of barbed wire here to make it harder for them to use cover. With that, Marcel lay down sandbags, I guess. We'll have to see what Marcel goes for. Certainly some, well, besides Overwatch, interesting commanders. Like Overwatch is just like one of those heavily overused Overwatch commanders as of late. Definitely one of the less interesting ones at the moment. But ground offensive and special operations definitely have a bit of potential there. Anyway, troops setting up there. Sandbags on the calf point. Standard stuff there. Makes it easier to defend ahead of time. Bit of sandbags here as well around the centre, as you might notice there. Third fault coming there for Marcel. There goes shots fired here. Almost at the 2-minute mark. First engagement happens here between Marcel and Tiramisu. We got more troops pouring in. That's 2 more squads here for total 3 squads in the centre. That's it. None in cover. And we can see that Marcel's quickly moving to occupy the positions of strong cover here versus Tiramisu's forces. And without any sort of way of forcing up the Germans fast here, that means Molotovs. And he's not going for the 4th squad. This could definitely be a bit of while here. And he doesn't have flamethrowers either. So he could technically get bogged down here, allowing Marcel to grab the rest elsewhere. Of course, we may have to see how this goes out. There's also potential for some RNG there, and actually make a bit of a mistake, I feel like. Move the Unions to light cover, making it easy for the conflict to focus that one down. Meaning some of the engagement looks much better here for Tiramisu. That's from Marcel. Now I got more troops pouring in, but again, the way the engagement is happening, it's like he's presenting instantly a lot of easy targets for Tiramisu to focus on. In fact, he might lose the Sturmpionier here, which of course would be significantly advantageous for Tiramisu over Marcel. Squad they're routed. We got the forces of the base inside the building there, though they're basically the ones holding out for any prolonged period of time. 4th squad there for Marcel and the German army. There we go. I mean, he could definitely benefit here from special operations, and I don't think he's going to go for a watch, since most people at this point will typically leave some room open there for the Jaeger, so this one seems more likely. We got flamethrower team there, and at this point, the entire engagement of Marcel and the Senate didn't really work out for him. I think he retreated 1 squad, but he suffered so much heavier losses in the process that was really not a good engagement for Marcel at all. Troops reinforcing here, could lay down some medical supplies to heal up. Some nice Panzerschokolade. Yes, Basil, Panzerschokolade. It's not good for cats, though. No, Basil, you can't have any. Not that I have any either. Troops sitting out there. No Basil, no Panzerschokolade. I'm fairly certain I get in trouble with the law. Anyways, 2 pushing forward here against the engineers. Conscious here, flamethrowers ready for Tiramisu to hold up against the German attackers. Conscious routed here, as Marcel mercilessly and pitilessly advances for the Reich. Following about here, west side bit of skirmishing here as Marcel looks to open up another front here versus Tiramisu. More engineers for Tiramisu, no take yet for him, though admittedly neither for Marcel. Sturmpionier doing good work up close range to the flamethrower engineers there, focusing down, but have taken quite a bit of damage in the process. Truck on the way, I'd imagine battle headquarters, but Marcel could surprise it all with a mechanized regiment. Basil refused to even look me in the eyes, now that I've denied him the possibility of Panzerschokolade. Stupid cat. I'm fairly certain he doesn't even know what it is. Anyway, sandbags up here. Sandbags there. Truck ready. Comes going for the full Grenadiers. Could move on to the fuel point there, honestly. Support company for Tiramisu back at his base. Thumbs up. There you go. Comfortable hardcore there for Marcel. Very much the standard choice. Ultimately, not too surprised. Big push for Tiramisu. Marcel just backs off again. He could have tried to fight it out there, but the problem is what would he really be gaining there? And the answer to that is just not a lot, really. So sometimes just knowing when to fight and when to retreat is a actually fairly good skill to have tactically and strategically. Take for Tiramisu. Probably looking to push out a fast T-70 here. They could also go for faster anti-aircraft traffic, honestly, versus Marcel. Let's see which of these two choices ends up as. Marcel, meanwhile, has got this almost done. He could push for a fast, relatively fast flak half track here versus his opponent. Still no commander there. In the south here, we got the fronts of the countries there. More supporting troops arriving. Good work there. But on the west side, the cemetery falls here. As Tiramisu's men overwhelm what few defenders Marcel has in the position. We got an MD-34 here, so no flak half track. Marcel, I would say at this point, likely aiming for a faster, schwerer Panzer headquarters here versus Tiramisu. As for Tiramisu, very close to that T-70 again. He could go for the anti-aircraft half track and just use the fuel he then saves in the half track to, you know, push faster himself for medium armament. But looks like he accepts no substitutes and wants the T-70. Go, troop reinforcing, healing, mechanized upgrade there, machine gun team ready here for Marcel. Come to the catch, unfortunately, by the carve point. T-70 light tank here. Ground the western point here. Good push over Tiramisu. Mines being laid down as well there. Thumbs up. Sturmpionier catching the country here by the center. Sturmgewehrs versus Mosin guns. East side here we got the country being attacked with two full supports there. Full force here can also equip with a Sturmgewehr 44. That would, you know, be a pretty good upgrade there for Marcel, I think. But interesting enough, we're not seeing a single Sturmgewehr there being handed out to his Volksgrenadiers. Not a single one. That actually stands out a bit to me. T-70 light tank though, right here, done for Tiramisu. Mine hit off on the carve point there, causing several casualties amongst Marcel's men. And there you go, T-70 racing down the cold, icy roads, engaging the Volksgrens, pushing them back. Up here we got to push with the carve point with the MG-34. A bold maneuver by Marcel, but one which the MG-34 crew cannot execute without actual support here. Still, nice attempt here by Marcel. Thumbs up. Bold tactics are good, as long as you're not being reckless with them. But getting over there for Marcel though. T-70 roaming about here, sniping at German infantry, hoping to maybe get a few kills here and there. With the T-70, obviously not a good engagement there for the Germans. Basil's doing something beneath my bed, possibly looking for boxes of Panzer Schokolade. I don't know. Sometimes the cat gets some really weird ideas into his head. Mines down here being finished by Tiramisu, and Maxim on the way there for him as well. Folks the country by the carve point. Tiramisu they're successfully disrupting Marcel's fuel income. In the west here, the folks are getting nicely flanked here by Tiramisu's T-70 light tank. The T-70 Barlow is just a consolidation of T-50 and T-60 production lines to make a sort of more simplified design. And even then, they didn't make it like because the T-70 was going to be like a great tank. It was just something they could make while they were moving production lines of the T-34s further away from the Germans. They just kind of had to make the T-70 to fill up the gaps there. Fun fact. We got the engineers country there. Ooh, Blanham got off the conscripts, burning through them with the incendiary fires there. Sturmgewehr's finally on the way there for some of Marcel's men. Close to being wiped out here though. In the center, MD Fed force the conscripts there. Sturmpionier moving up with the T-70 on the flank here. He's going to need some anti-tank weapons. You could even consider like a Panzerschreck on the Sturmpionier, to be honest. Folks there, not in a great position. We got more engineers here for Tiramisu, and we've lost one squad here to the fascists. Ground the center here, kept moving about. West side, we got the Pontis by the Volksgrenadiers, and here troops in dire need of reinforcements. Marcel Barway here, almost 10 minutes of the game, has yet to pick a command. Sort of really not made a decision on that one, it seems, which is fine, which is fair. Maxim on the way there for Tiramisu number 2. He's clearly not worried about enemy armor, just wants to pressure his opponent's infantry more, though honestly, a part of me thinks like a mortar would actually be a really good choice to go along with that one Maxim there versus Marcel. But that's just me. All the way though, second machine gun team ready here for Tiramisu. They did actually have projects like to try and make a more, modern machine gun to replace the Maxim. The problem was, during the Winter War, they kind of found out they had a lot of flaws that kind of made it a bit rubbish, so they kind of had to stick with a Maxim. Fun fact. Try on the way there. In fact, there are many times when tried to come up with more modernized things, like, classic elements, they just kind of had to give up on it. Anyways, flame finish with the Fulton is in the center here. We got the Fulton Fortet straight into mine. The Ken Lancer good and the T-70 here. Sitting up in the knees here. And the West here being murdered by the Fulton D's. There we got the flame infantry arriving, moving up on the flank here as well. Marcel continues to be without a commander though. We got the truck out there, the Schwerer Wehrmachtschlepper for a, I'd imagine, Schwerer Panzer quarters. They could surprise us all with mechanized, so I don't think that'd be a particularly good surprise. Something flanked here. Sturmpeony setting out. Schwerer Panzer quarters then away from Marcel. Maxim setting up here. Tiramisu definitely putting the Maxim to good use there, supporting his attacks here versus Marcel, making it harder for himself to counterattack without other artillery, some larger scale assaults executed well. So Tiramisu, they're definitely quickly in control of a good chunk of the map now here versus Marcel. Schwerer Panzer quarters is going up. He can authorize, but even then it's going to be some time, in particular with the fuel pond then being cut off, for him to get out any armor, and we still haven't seen a commander from him. Like, I'd probably still like to see the Special Operations one, because he's got a lot of false companies, and they synergize really well with infiltration tactics, plus the Sturmobs, I think, would also be a good addition. And there's also the Command Panther and the Inflict Sturmgewehrs. I mean, there's a lot of good in that commander, honestly. But in particular, I feel like just, the grenade assaults can be used to, quickly overwhelm Tiramisu and, or force some breakthroughs here. Really dug in now by the Coffin, got 2 Samak positions plus the Maxim here, making it much harder for Marcel to easily make a push there through without significant firepower. Like grenades. So definitely a strong position there. But one thing for Marcel to consider right now is just trying to keep pushing for his actually switch westwards and push for the western fuel point, a big cut point there. Instead, as there's significantly less resistance right now there from Tiramisu, so he might actually just be able to make better progress, and that way get more fuel faster than he currently is, which is not a lot in comparison. If we got the authorization there done, or on the way there, you can actually soon follow up with the Panther anyways. Tiramisu, meanwhile, has yet to take up. Could be an indicator he might be hoping to stall out here for a IS-2 tank, but even then, he'd still need to take up, get out some field guns, so maybe not. That's definitely a part of me suspects he might claim the IS-2 at some point. I mean, you're not going to go for armored assault if you're not going to go for the IS-2 a lot of the time. But oh, we got the T-70 here. Good kill there by myself, like heading over crew. Maxing those all in trouble. Grab these in fuel point 2. But in particular, I would say on a map like Crossroads, which just features more resources than normal, you can get a good advantage. Again, the IS-2 stall strategy can actually work out here for Tiramisu. But that said, it's kind of risky. It's kind of risky. But also requires him, I think, to really get that tier 4 up going, for tier 3, I mean. So it doesn't have a tier 4 free when you think about it. But tier 3 for the mechanized summer company, so you can get the mobilized reserves upgrade going. And that will move ahead here. One-hand gunner off. Panther full mode together for Marcel. Thumbs up, but still no commander. I mean, he could still end up with Grand Offensive just with the Tiger tank, to be honest. He could technically kind of still do that, but I'd still like to see Special Operation, because I just feel like, again, it would synergize with this current force much better. Like, again, Fulton grenades with the cheap assault grenades is, quite good. Quite good. I still remember when companies run going for terror tactics with a lot of Fulton grenades, just because, again, that way you got to chuck a lot of grenades. Because back then, they not just chuck one grenade, they chuck like 2 grenades, I think, per squad member, and you get like 10 grenades up total. That was fun. But there you go, Panzerfahrrad here for Marcel and the German army. Bit of support here in the deep cold snows from nearby Panzerdivision for the 16th Panzergrenadier Division. Western pumping sees the Raketenwerfer, focusing on watch to assist. Going to use the course of the Panther Force basically as a ram here to break through Tiramisu Caesar's position, flying them to get back the carve point there. Mechanized Armor Company could again go for the T-35 here soon. He could also go for the HD-5, but there's definitely part of me that suspects he might be planning IS-2. But even then, like, if he wants that, he needs like field guns, because he's not going to stop that Panzerfoot with just a lot of anti-tank grenades and mines. I mean, technically good, but I think that'd be, you know, a bit in the realm of wildly ambitious. But there you go, T-3045 on there here for Tiramisu on the Red Army.
IS-2 heavy tanks are now available to crush the enemy.
Down here in the west. T-35, they're halfway done, Panther to assist again. I'm still surprised at the complete lack of a field gun here from Tiramisu, but it's just, you know, the way the fight has so far gone, he probably hasn't like felt the need for like a field gun here versus Marcel, to be honest. Which definitely helps out Marcel's Panzer IV a lot, that just isn't a field gun to meet it right away. That is a significant help. Maximuming up here, and T-35 has arrived here for Tiramisu on the Red Army. So named because it had an 85mm gun. They tried to make a T-35M, by the way, model, which was actually supposed to have like thicker armor on the hull, but that never really came to fruition because they couldn't like add enough armor to be effective without also like overweighing the chassis, which already had issues with that, to be honest, with weight. So at most they just upped the armor on the turret, and that was basically hit with a T-35. So little fun fact there. Huge trouble with the Panther on the east. Little fun fact there. The Panther on the eastern side here. Flanking the conscript, shoots, misses. So now up in advance with the Maxim. Definitely not a great spot. Oh, he acts retreating properly due to the building being ready to collapse here, which definitely be a waste of a machine gun there from Marcel. But we are almost 20 minutes into the game there, and Marcel has still yet to pick a commander. Again, fields vary, either Grand Offensive or Special Operations here for Marcel, in which case, again, either for the Command Panther or for the Tiger Tank. And certainly in a lot of regards, I think the Command Panther is probably going to be the better choice. A bit cheaper, but also with its, you know, marked target ability, can actually take out tanks faster than the Tiger Tank. So it kind of ends up being a lot better in a lot of cases, honestly. Plus its ability to like boost other tanks doesn't hurt either, honestly. But so far, Marcel continues to keep his cards close here.
Enemy forces are capturing our supplies.
Bit of light skirmishing here. Since that makes you start Marcel definitely getting a bit better footing here now again versus Tiramisu, thanks to the Panther IV, and while he does have the T-35 with the Raketen supporting here Marcel's forces, the T-35 finds itself a bit outgunned, honestly.
Enemy forces are attempting to capture our territory.
Okay. Just need to figure what's going on by my feet. That was Basler signing. He wants to sleep. There. Field gun finally here for Tiramisu and the Red Army. We'll have to see what he follows up with next. More field guns, more T-35s, or will he try and go for the IS-2 heavy tank here? As for Marcel, he could go for another Panther IV here, but again, there's definitely part of me suspects he might be either playing now here for a Command Panther or the Tiger Tank. First assist 3 Division field gun for Tiramisu, and for solo player, that's like pretty late, 19 minutes. That is a very, very late 3 Divisional field gun. Still a very late first divisional field gun, I suppose, a better way to put it. Bag of base here for Tiramisu, nothing further really transpiring. Panther applying more pressure, got 16 kills on it already. Really tearing into Tiramisu's men here. Still not much else going for Marcel. Again, could be a Tiger tank here or a Command Panther, but definitely feels like either of the two now. And it's just the question of which does it go for. Got it from filling this into the armor. The Panther 4 almost got the control. The T-35 lands a great hit on the Panther 4. But Kev's up the T-35 no chance, but the Panther 4 is a pretty weak state and the T-35 could possibly take it out. Yeah, I think he managed to, but now the tide has slightly turned on him. Almost got the Panther 4, but the T-35 survives, so I guess that works out there for him. And there you go. Finally, roughly 20 minutes of the game, he Marcel does commit to special operations featuring radio silence, the Sturm Officer, which I think he benefited from coming out sooner, but also infiltration tactics, Sturmgewehr 44, and the command tank. And while you might still think it allows him into ambush and all that, it doesn't do that. Again, it's just you get the infiltration grenade assault, which is really good. Rather heavy cooldown, but yeah, it's really cheap for just a grenade assault. And again, on like a 5-man focus grenade squad, it's really good value. Since again, 5 grenades can do a lot of damage. Very fast. But there you go. Command Panther out here for Marcel, the Befehlspanzerkampfwagen 5. Of course, Tiramisu will be aware of this, and I imagine he's going to stick his course there towards the IS-2 heavy tank, though he may want to consider another field gun first. We got 378 to 236, T-35 rolling forwards. Fulton moving ahead here, very close to T4 here. Panther strike up the eastern side here, pin that machine gun halfway done. T-35 almost kills one of his own, in fact, actually kills one of his own there. Brandham gun out of there, flung through the windows, burning through the maximum crew there, but the Fulton themselves are being absolutely mauled out in the open with no other recourse but to retreat. Panther keeps firing away at the console there in its own. Storm puny advancing, Storm Panther being the only unit that does not get infiltration tactics, which he finds a bit curious. Not entirely sure why they couldn't be able to get it. Anyways, coming up in the flank, getting caught here by the Schwerer Panzer quarters, and the Panther 4 bait here, Betty 2 on Panther 4. Field bombarding. Also got one Sturmgewehr attack ready here for Tiramisu in the southeast. Fulton moving up, here's the Command Panther falls back. Could try and use coordinated fire there against the T-35, in which case you can actually take it out in 4 shots. Panther 4 moving in there, blitzing 4 bets for Deutschland. Command Panther remains around the center, possibly to deter any armored assaults. They're just infantry maneuvers, I'm not entirely sure. Or perhaps he's worried he can't push the Command Panther towards the west without getting into trouble. Panther 4 being flanked with the field gun. Troops moving forwards here. About to lose the Panther 4 at this rate. Close call here for Marcel, but falls a bit short there. Meanwhile, Tiramisu getting very close to the IS-2 heavy tank in terms of fuel. He's a minute away. Manpower-wise, we're talking a bit more than a minute. And of course, assumes he does not reinforce anything. Meaning he has to play defensively now versus Marcel to really get out anytime sooner. As for Marcel, again, you know, Obersoldaten, Sturmoffizier, I mean, he's running a lot of munitions, by the way. You could just start chucking grenades there. But, yeah, so far, not much of an interest there for grenades here from Marcel, except Brandhandgranate, which actually costs, I think, more? Yeah, it's actually more expensive than the infiltration grenade assault. Yeah, rarely will you actually see some players use them consistently, despite having commanders use them, or with them actually, unfortunately, which you find is a shame. They're big third push here by Tiramisu, but again, also, definitely delayed his own IS-2 there, which is great for Marcel, as again that means it easy to just further beat out his opponent. 4 kills in the Command Panther here. Might soon become 5. T-35 going for up there, got to keep from the flank here, there we go. Virtually 2 in the T-35 with the Command Panther response here. No coordinated fire here. He's being surprisingly conservative with his munitions despite, you know, well, not really having anything to save for anyway, so he just like spam them whatever he wants to, and I don't think get punished. So, a bit of an interesting oversight there, I would say, by Marcel. and more interesting from an educational purpose in, like, you know, be sure not to end up like this. Panther running forwards. Grab some points here. Quick blind hand grenade here. Again, no grenade assaults. I think since he just moved there, it could have been great there to just chuck all those grenades and watch stuff die explosively. Yeah, Tiramisu easily has the fuel again, just needs the manpower here versus Marcel. Contents of the Sturmpunier and the Command Panther. Fighting for decent points. And there you go, grenade assault fine, and there you go, making a hell of an impact there. Almost taking out the entire squad there, you notice. Thumbs up there to Marcel. Again, the only downside is, again, the ability has a hell of a cooldown compared to, like, any other grenade ability. Even, like, other, you know, grenade assault abilities, the cooldown on this one is, like, massive. But again, I can sort of see the logic in it. Can see the logic in it. But they always make it so cheap. In the case of the False Grenade, is, I think, so good. And you see it versus the Falcons and the Panther 4 here, routed. Again, Tiramisu's planning to, like, just not quite as hard go for the IS-2, but still insistent going for it. I think it's backfiring at this point. You know, he might even just get off just going for a bunch of T-35s more versus Marcel rather than trying to go for the IS-2. Sturmpunier squad, they've actually fought, but it's routed here. Command Panther going for it. No marked coordinated fire there, I mean. Panther 4 half 8 to Veterinary flee. Blind hand grenade in there. Got 366 on 82. Tiramisu, though, it's down to look like he might just get to that IS-2 heavy tank here soon enough. May just get to it. Ace little maximum bar away, there we go. Panzer 4, he was the T-35. 9 kills in the Command Panther. Good hit from the Panther on the T-35. Flanking in, there you go. Ah, still on cooldown. I thought he was going to pop a grenade assault there. Another Panther for Marcel. Meanwhile, Tiramisu is still on the way for his IS-2 heavy tank, but he's very close now. He is incredibly close. And there we go. 27 minutes in the game, he can finally call in his IS-2 heavy tank. Joseph Stalin 2. Of course, now he needs to, like, reinforce all his troops, repair his tanks and all that sort of stuff there, so bit of a tight spot he is nonetheless in here versus Marcel. Particularly when you factor in the meanwhile, again, Marcel has just gone for slightly less overall expensive units he can just more easily call in more of. Shoots, misses here the Fox Grenadier squad. Close call though, close call. Adding the pin-mounted DP light machine gun. Not DP light machine gun, but pin-mounted Dishkahe machine gun. Though they did use a variant of the DP light machine gun, and actually in most hull machine guns, I think, on the tanks. Fun fact. Radio silence here from Marcel. Cheeky. There you go, Command Panther going for the IS-2. Could even use coordinated fire here, I think. And he's still for a lot of munitions, honestly. And there you go, field crew cleared out. We've got an air support called in here by Tiramisu. So the Air Force there strafes in there, not the Luftwaffe. Definitely not the Luftwaffe. Kevin on the T-35. Field gun wreck, denying it to Tiramisu. Max being snapped over the Panther 4. Command Panther close venture to 1 here. Tiramisu situation different, looking a bit rough here versus Marcel. Shot bounced. IS-2 missed on the other hand. We also got coordinated fire here from the Command Panther. Does not pursue though, does not pursue. But even then he's managed to push Tiramisu off the field. He's got all 50 points under control. And he also definitely enjoys the overall numerically superior armoured force here. Though of course the IS-2 and T-35 should not be taken lightly either. But the way so far Tiramisu is sort of leveraging it, it's clearly not as threatening as the Panther 1 Panther, which Marcel I think is definitely using a bit more actively in comparison. Tiramisu pushing for another assault here against the fascists, charging ahead with the T-35 leading the way, the IS-2 following up here. Legend again like a good hit from the IS-2 that punches through the Panther's frontal armour. T-35's about to get knocked out. He tries to veer off, but may still go down to the Kenya for the Panther here. Oh, such a miss there. Really close taking out the Kenman crew with a single hit there, but full shot. There we go. The Kenman crew now wiped out from the face of this earth. We got Veteran 3 in the Panther 4, almost Veteran 4 in fact. Panther there, half H, Veteran 2, eyes, 2 taking hits. There we go. Coordinated fire once more here by Marcel. Thumbs up. Penetrating hit there from the Panther 4 on the flank. Other Panther 4 there we go. Couldn't blitz here. There we go. Eyes 2 is in a very dangerous position now as Marcel was in for the kill here. There you go. Second Panther 4 arriving as well here. Engineers repairing it, even as the Panther trying to damage, and there you go, pop goes the Weasel. Tiramisu now without his eyes to every tank, and the German Panzerwaffe is at the door. His forces are being utterly obliterated out in the open here. Lost the Panther 4, but I'd say a Panther 4 for an IS-2 is a very good trade for the Germans. Just being murdered in the east here as well. I think he's kind of giving up in the game. Yep, just waits registers. There you go. GG, game over. Victory for Marcel. A loss for Tiramisu. A fierce fight here, but in the end I feel like Tiramisu forgot a few steps there. Also, I think he got caught up in some traps here versus Marcel. Whereas Marcel, I think handled the early game a bit weak. Could have gone for commander soon, and he definitely could have made you more use of infiltration tactics. But I feel like still the game sort of hit a certain point. Marcel found his stride and sort of slowly pushed back with Tiramisu on the end. He just couldn't quite get his grip again. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. I learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. Tell a friend, tell a family, but don't tell enemies. This is Imperial Links in cheers. Thank you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow again for another episode. Bye.